Hello, this is Jacob Hiller with the Jump Manual. We now have a question. We are broadcasting live from Ustream, and one of the questions we have now is, how can you measure your vertical? And there are tutorials in the Jump Manual as well in the forums how to do it, but let me show you how I personally do it. This is my little gym bag full of nice tools that I use at the gym, and one of the tools is tape measure. And what I use this tape measure for, first of all, is to make sure the rim or whatever I'm working with is 10 foot, because a lot of the rims are not 10 foot. But first I'll measure, if I'm using a rim, it's really easy to use a rim because you just reach up in the air and touch this to the rim and see what the difference is. So if reaching up, just touching the rim was, say, 20 inches, 25 inches, 30 inches, then you know that if you can stand and touch the rim, well, you're jumping 30 inches. And if you can stand and touch here, say, well, then you can jump 30 inches plus whatever that distance is. So, in this particular example, if the rim was 30 inches away and I could touch the rim right here, then that would be a 38-inch vertical. But that's just an approximation. What you really need to do is measure the distance between what your standing reach is and what you're able to touch, which will be what your vertical jump is. So this is what I use, and you can use it with the rim, or you can use it with a wall. You can use it with anything you can jump up and touch. And I tell people they always need to be measuring. So there's a lot of tricks you can come up with. I end up training in a lot of different areas. So let's say, for example, you're going to use a ceiling in your own home. So let's say you reach up in the air, and the distance between your fingers and the ceiling is 10 inches. So that would be a 10-inch vertical jump. Obviously, you need to be able to jump, reach further than that. So your next step would be to touch it with your knuckles. So then you would just add the distance from your knuckles and add that on. So if that distance, my fingers to my knuckles, is 4 inches, well, if I can touch that with my inches, then it's the 10 inches plus the 4, so my vertical would be 14 inches. Now if I can do that, well, then I want to touch it with my wrist. So if I can reach up and touch it with my wrist, then I measure the distance from my fingers to my wrist, and let's say if that was 17 inches in this case, if I can jump up and touch it with my wrist, then it's 17 inches. And if you need to go even further, you can go and use your elbow. So that is another way to do it if you're doing it in your home or you don't have something to measure your vertical with. Another way you can do is you can use the backboard. Now this is going to be a little more accurate. You can either put some paint or some tape on the tip of your finger and stand and jump and place that up on the backboard or a wall. Then reach up and measure the distance between your hand and that piece of tape or smudge on the wall, whatever you've done. So basically, there are a lot of ways to do this, and you may have to get creative, but the idea is what's your standing reach and what's the highest distance you can touch from that standing reach. And you need to do this often, for training.
Take a few minutes and check out the link in the description. This may be exactly what you're looking for.